The following program is an exclusive presentation of the Tiger Sports and Entertainment Network. You are watching TSEN.
This TSEN television production is sponsored by Culver's.
Hello and welcome to the 2023 edition of Tiger Sports and Entertainment Network. This trimester, TSEN has had the opportunity to produce the holiday band and choir concerts along with several basketball games.
Our crew has operated cameras, captured instant replays, announced play-by-play commentary for the games, cord-wrapped miles upon miles of SDI and HDMI cables, directed our events using our TriCaster system.
All of these elements are part of our live sports broadcasting class where students are actively being involved in being the team that brings you the action to your television screen.
We are all very proud of the work that we have done during this trimester. During our show today, we'll be bringing you our individual projects that we have been working on during this trimester.
Julius Allen has been playing football since he was 3 years old. Nico Abergiley had a chance to talk to him about his football career.
This is Julius Allen. He has been playing football since 3 years old and has recently joined the 9th grade football team and has been very successful.
My dad kind of inspired me to play football. He played football in high school. I just wanted to kind of have that continue throughout the family. I've always loved watching football growing up, doing all that. Kind of just thought this year, was the year to kind of interact with it and play football.
From a young age, Julius was watching his dad play football, and that inspired him to play football as well.
My dad kind of inspired me to play football. He played football in high school. I just wanted to kind of have that continue throughout the family. I've always loved watching football growing up, doing all that. Kind of just thought this year, was the year to kind of interact with it and play football.
On his free time, Julius likes to play video games and hangs out with his friends and family.
I like to play 2K, Madden a lot. I mean, obviously, as a football player, you got to play Madden. I pretty much grind on that all day. I like to play Fortnite a little bit, play GTA.
Not only does he get support from his teammates, but he also gets support from his family.
I have 3 siblings, one twin, and then my sister. My twin, he's a freshman. He's 15 years old, and my sister is 12.
Julius thinks he's going to play football throughout the rest of his career.
I would like to play football throughout high school. Obviously, you have to play football throughout high school to make it to bigger and better things as far as the pros, and even through college. So yeah, I would. That's the plan. I would like to play football throughout high school.
This is Winston Obikalu. He is a friend and teammate of Julius Allen.
As a teammate, he was on the football team with me. He's a really good teammate. Like, he's a really, he's like a guy you'd actually go to if you need help. He's like a real leader. He's fun to be on the team with. And, yeah. And as a friend, he's really trustworthy. Just that type of person you'd want to be around. He always brings a positive vibe wherever he goes. He's really trustworthy, as I said, and yeah.
This is Nico for TSEN.
That was super interesting about his football career.
Yeah, absolutely. Maren Blom has been playing basketball for nearly 10 years. It's been an influential part of her life ever since she was little. Maggie Bjornson had the opportunity to speak with Maren and her high school coach about her basketball experience.
Today I interviewed senior girls basketball captain Maren Blom, who you may not see in school, but you will definitely see on the court. Maren has been playing basketball for a while. So, what started it all?
Growing up, I had 2 older brothers, so they kind of got into it, and then I would watch them play, and eventually I did in-house, and then I was like, hey, I want to do this, so I did travel, and here I am.
Marin has many people who inspire her to be the best athlete she can be, but you may be surprised to learn that two of them are closer than you think.
Probably my brothers, not gonna lie. They both are just like great guys and just taught me a lot, like not even just basketball, just in life. So probably my brothers.
Marin left her old team, South Metro Homeschool, before coming to play for Farmington. Although it was a difficult decision, she believes she made the right choice.
It was a little bittersweet. I had really, really good friends on that team that were 2 years older than me. So then they graduated. So it was a little less hard because they were already gone. And that kind of made the transition easier over to Farmington.
Leaving Marin's old team and starting new was a pretty big decision. What makes a player want to leave and start again?
I know I want to play in college, and I feel like it was the best decision for me to kind of make my physical ability more better.
Marin is obviously a big basketball lover and has set many personal goals for herself this season.
It means a lot. I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I feel like basketball, you accomplish a lot of goals and you set goals, and as a team too, being able to play with people and come together is really cool, and that's what I like.
Playoffs are coming up for the girls basketball team, so I headed over to talk to Coach Carpentier to talk about her goals for Marin.
Yeah, playoffs are an important time, and I think the kids that have the most experience usually do well come section time and playoff time. And so we're going to rely on her for her leadership and for her experience. She played in playoffs last year as a junior, and she did really well. Just had a great section tournament. And so, again, just her work ethic, leadership skills, and just looking for her to be poised and calm and just kind of be that source for the younger kids to look at and know that she's already been here and she has that experience.
Marin is a very strong player on the court, so I decided to get an insider's view into the mind of Coach Carpentier on what she thought made Marin so strong on the court.
Marin has a lot of strengths. I would say her number one strength is her shooting ability, and she has range. So she can shoot from the mid-range, she can shoot from the three, so she can score at all three levels, but shooting is one of her strengths. And then I would say rebounding. And for how small she is and for the position that she plays, she's a guard, she has really done exceptionally well rebounding the basketball, both offensively and defensively.
After extensive research on the game of basketball, Farmington's assistant girls varsity basketball coach, Tom Cross, gave us an insider's look on Farmington's strategy for this year.
You win the game if you score more points than they do.
This is Maggie Bjornson reporting for TSEN.
You know, that's awesome how she can go from a homeschool setting to playing on the varsity team.
Yeah, it's really cool. She's an awesome player, and we're lucky to have her this year.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Since 1997, the Green Hornets have been playing softball in the Twin Cities Northwest metro area. After graduating from college, Jeff Lazar, the creator and manager of the Hornets, decided to put together the team. In 2023, the Hornets will be going into their 27th season. Our very own Leo Zazeski got the opportunity to sit down with Jeff, along with some of his teammates, to discuss the history of the Green Hornets.
In 1997, recent college graduate Jeff Lazar decided to form a softball team for the upcoming season. Alongside his friend Dave Gooley, they created a team that they decided to call the Green Hornets.
I graduated from college in '96, and so the spring of '97, I got back from school, and I immediately started contacting people in the winter, lining them up for the spring, and everybody was looking for something to do.
We were probably 22, 23 years old. I had just come off working 2 years of night shift, so I was super fired up to get playing softball again. Jeff and I had talked, we got a bunch of guys together, threw some names out, figured who would, not necessarily based upon all softball talent, but who would mesh well together.
And so spring of '97 we started going, and I basically used all my old friends from high school and a couple random guys from college, and they were all my original baseball team and soccer team.
So we kind of got that formula together, and then just threw it all together, see who was available, and got a team going. And '97 was when the magic started.
Former Hornets player Mike Peters explains his relationship with Jeff and how Jeff recruited him to come and play for the Hornets.
When we started playing for the Hornets, we were all high school friends going into college, and it was a good way for us to stay together. keep in touch, and so it's really started back in the early '90s, and it's amazing how fast time goes by. But we're fortunate that we got a great group of friends.
The Green Hornets have changed drastically over their 26 seasons. Jeff and Dave explain some of the changes that their team has faced.
Okay, the original team from '97 started to change when everybody started getting married and having kids. And so once guys started dropping off or getting older or having injuries, then we'd have to start recruiting other guys.
As we got older and families started and whatever, then we people kind of fell off, which was to be expected. And we backfilled with younger people. So now we're the old guys on the team, but it's still fun to be part of it.
And so we would, we still had some friends in college. We'd get them. People worked with guys, you know. So it was tricky, you know, but we were able to maintain it. We now have a range of guys my age who are almost 50 years old to guys that are 22 years old. And so we've got a big range of people right now, and that's how we keep it going, is we just keep adding younger talent as the older guys drop off.
Over the years, the Hornets roster has had many changes. Jeff talks about what it is like recruiting younger players to come and play for the Hornets.
You know, it used to be really easy because the team is kind of well known in the area, and it's a pretty good team, and it's known for having a lot of fun. Now these new generation of guys like to sit inside and play video games, play on their phones, a little lazier, don't like to get outside in the sun. And but you know, how do people play on Tom Brady's team? You know, there's a guy that's been around about the same as me, and you want to play football with Tom Brady? I would. So that's kind of what sells them.
Jeff Lazar has managed the Green Hornets since 1997 and has gotten a team together every single year. The Hornets are now going on to their 27th season. Jeff explains the struggles of maintaining a team from season to season.
You know, it's always a struggle based on the weather and earlier in the season. A lot of our players are still young guys, or they're in college, or they might have family events, things like that. So every year in May, come May, it's always tricky finding enough guys to play. We've used people's dads in the past. We've used church members, you know, kids that are probably too young to be in the league that we've used. But somehow, if we can always make it till the end of May, we're usually set pretty good. So it has been some tough times, but for the most part, once we get past May, we're in pretty good shape.
Jeff maintaining the team for the time he has shows his passion for the Hornets. His teammates reflect on what it is like playing for Jeff.
Jeff's been one of my really good friends over the last 30-some years. We went to high school together. You know, Jeff is the one that got us all together. He's the reason why we played softball. He's the reason why we still have a team today.
I mean, Jeff he's the organizer. He puts all this stuff together, and he has for the last 27 years. So, like Jesse, Jeff and I have been friends a long time, so we've played a lot of other sports together outside of Green Hornets softball.
He's got that passion for softball, and so he's not only the manager, but he's the player. He sets the lineup, he gets all the clothes, he does all the fundraising, and so to have a guy that takes that initiative, you actually need a guy like that, and Jeff makes it easy for us. We just have to show up, play softball, and hang out afterwards.
He's everything to the team. Without Jeff, the Green Hornets don't exist. I would say that Jeff used to be the fastest guy on the team. He's lost a step over the years, but he's still competitive in his old age. He still goes out, gives it 100%, and has a good time. It's fun to play with Jeff, and I've kind of tailed off in the last few years as I've gotten older and had other commitments. And Jeff is always recruiting me to play, at least get out, play a couple games every year, and when I do, it's a lot of fun.
Due to the extensive history of the Hornets, there have been plenty of highlights since they started in 1997. Jeff and Dave mentioned some of their personal favorite highlights.
The first year the highlights are just being with your friends. Like I said, I was stuck working nights, so it was just so much fun being back with all the guys, all your high school friends, kind of reconnecting all those relationships. Going to the legendary Tony Jaros River Garden after each game to just kind of discuss strategy and a few things we could improve on.
There's been a lot of highlights throughout the years. Besides, the easy answer to that would be the several championships that we've won. We won a big tournament once in Robbinsdale. It was called the Classic Tournament. And that was a highlight because there were so many people watching, and the Hornets weren't expected to win it, and we did win it. That was probably one of the biggest highlights.
Well, personal highlight 2006, we won the Classic Division Championship in Robbinsdale Whiz-Bang, which they've discontinued just because after we won it, there wasn't much interest anymore because we kind of hit that pinnacle. But anyways, then I'm trying to think after that, we had a lot of season championships in New Hope, and then just being with the same group of people was it was super fun, and it's a night out to see your friends.
Jeff also speaks on some of the trophies and memorabilia the Hornets have won.
Right, so the Hornets started in 1997, and out of all those seasons, it comes to 27 seasons, we've won the league 6 times. First time we won it was 2006, which was in Robbinsdale, and then we moved around the cities a little bit. We went to New Hope, we went to Crystal, Brooklyn Park, and so our first trophy right there was 2006, which was with our original Hornets team, which was great, probably one of my favorite ones. And then every couple years after that, we had a 2009, 2010, 2011, 14, 21, and then this big one is from the tournament we won, and this was 2006. And this is probably the favorite one just because everybody on the team contributed to it, and it was so much fun, and we had tons of fans.
The legacy of the Green Hornets since their conception in 1997 has definitely shown itself, especially in the Northwest metro area where they are located out of. Jeff's dedication to the team has most definitely paid off, with all the years of memories that he's made not only for himself, but for his fellow Hornet teammates. Leo Soseski reporting for TSCN.
What an amazing story.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they've been doing it for so long. Tony Minks is a lacrosse player for the Farmington Tigers. He has been playing for 8 years in Farmington, and his dream is to follow Owen McElroy in his footsteps. Spencer Borland was able to interview him and ask some questions.
This is Tony Minks. He plays lacrosse for Farmington Tigers and is planning to get a spot on varsity.
I play lacrosse. I've been playing for 7, almost 8 years now. I've really enjoyed it so far, and I think it will be a big part of my future, so I hope to play it for a lot longer.
You'd think that playing goalie for lacrosse would be stressful and difficult. However, Tony loves the challenge.
I started playing lacrosse because I was playing Little League Baseball, and I actually broke my wrist. And I had a couple of friends that played, and they told me they think I would really enjoy it. So I went to just a try lacrosse free clinic, and it was something I really enjoyed. And then our team didn't have a goalie, so I stepped up for a couple games, and I really enjoyed it for some reason, and that's the position I still play.
You'd think that playing goalie for lacrosse would be stressful and difficult. However, Tony loves the challenge.
Yeah, since I started my first year, for some reason I've really liked it, and it's good for me because not many other people play it, so I don't really have to worry about time. The only problem right now is our varsity goalie is only a grade ahead of me, and he's been starting since 8th grade, so that puts me in a bad spot. But I hope eventually I can beat him out for that varsity spot and continue playing the position I like.
Being a lacrosse goalie for Tony has been fun, but there is a downside to being a goalie.
The only thing I don't like about it really is just getting hit with them. Getting hit with the balls just because it really hurts, especially in certain spots. But I've always enjoyed it, and I don't think I'll ever not enjoy it.
Tony is very busy at Farmington High School with schoolwork and sports. He enjoys doing other hobbies in his free time.
I'm a hockey official, which I really liked. I started that this year, and it's been good money, especially for my first job. But I also really like going outdoors and skating at outdoor rinks during the winter. During the summer, it's mostly just lacrosse. If I can get together with friends here and take some shots, that's always a fun time too.
There's many steps to working out safely. Tony goes through various pregame warm-ups every day.
When I get to the field, I usually just talk to some of my teammates for a bit, maybe pass the ball around. When we have to start getting dressed, some superstition, I usually like to be the last one to put on my helmet. We'll usually do a quick warm-up lap, and then when we start stretching, I'll be next to my teammates, but I'll usually do my own stretch. And then I'll just get into some warm-up shots, and then we'll do 4v3s, and then get in the game.
From coaches to teachers to teammates, here are the people Tony looks up to.
I look up to pretty much any of my coaches, just because of how much they've helped me out for the last few years. Or Owen McElroy. He went to Georgetown University and played there for pretty much his whole college career, and he now plays for the PLL Chrome. So I really admire his play style, and I hope that I can kind of follow in his footsteps.
He started talking about who his favorite coaches are, like Mitch Grains and Coach Will.
My favorite coach would probably be Mitch Grains, who's the current head coach here at Farmington. But for club, it would probably be Coach Will. He's really helped me with the position itself instead of just the overall game, which I think has really helped improve me over the last few years.
Reporting for TSEN, I'm Spencer Borland.
Josh Barrett has been an athlete at Farmington for almost 3 years. Cyrus Elrod got the chance to talk with Josh and one of Josh's coaches about how sports have impacted his life.
Josh Barrett is a high-level student athlete here at Farmington High School. He's a junior who plays football and baseball. He's the youngest of 4 siblings. He has a special number in all sports that he plays. This is what he had to say about it.
The reason why I wear number 3 is, it started off just because it's what I was given, but my brothers started being number 3 right when they started playing baseball. It was just given to them. And, every younger brother always wants to be like their older brothers, so I started wearing number 3. And then they carried it on into high school, and my brother was number 3 for both baseball and football. So I always kept it on, and it's just the number that my family's always worn.
Being that he was the youngest child, I wondered what it was like growing up for him.
Growing up with my brothers and my older sister, and I always trained with them in my sports and working out. They were always bigger and stronger than me, and they were always better than me, but I always had that, it gave me that competitive edge, so I always want to beat them and always want to catch up to them. So, everything I did, I tried to beat them, even though I didn't get there. It helped me learn, how to lose, but also how to get better in losing and just competing at the best level I can.
He is known as a great teammate, so this is how he described himself.
I've never been the most loud guy. I don't talk that much when I'm out in the field, but I've always been the type of guy that leads by example. I'm always working hard and doing the right thing. And I'm good at lifting my teammates up and helping them out when they need help.
I had the chance to talk to one of Josh's baseball coaches. This is how he described Josh as a player and as a teammate.
Josh is a hard worker. I think that's kind of true in the Farmington blood, if you will. But no, Josh works hard, always shows up, ready to go, even though, he may not outwardly show it. You can always tell that he shows up to the ballpark ready to go. Josh is a great teammate. He's kind of that soft-spoken, kind of lead by example type kid where, again, he might not be super rah-rah when he shows up to the park or looking the most energetic, but he's always there to kind of set the tone when it comes to just showing up, being ready, and being there for his teammates.
Finally, I had to know how sports has affected Josh's life, both in and outside of sports.
Growing up playing baseball, football, and basketball, it always taught me how to work hard, and hard work always pays off. It doesn't just help me in the sport, but it helps me in my day-to-day life. Just knowing getting by, working hard. I know that will get me through, and also all the relationships I've made. All of my best friends are friends that I've made in the sport.
This is Cyrus Elrod, reporting for TSCN, signing off.
What a great story about how growing up with sports can impact someone's life so much.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. This week, Spencer Ingham caught up with Ryder Anderson about his time for the FHS football program as well as his experiences as a student athlete.
Ryder Anderson is a 9th grade football player who loves what he does, is passionate and practices all the time, and is a great student in Farmington High School. Today we are going to go to Ryder to see how he likes football and to see how fun he thinks it is.
Yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy football a lot. It's probably my favorite sport, and football is easy to play outside of a team aspect, and even when you do play it with a team, it is super fun.
Ryder explains how practicing is and what it's like.
Practice is pretty hard. It depends if you make a mistake that the coaches don't like, then you'll have to condition, but usually there's not a lot of conditioning, and usually it's just focusing on getting better.
Ryder's a really good teammate. He makes our teammates energetic, loud. He picks our heads up when we're down,
and he just brings energy to the table. He's a great leader. He's a great friend. He always makes me laugh, makes the people around him laugh, and he's great in school. He has A's, no missing assignments, and I think all the teachers just love him.
Ryder tells us what he does outside of football and what he does day to day.
When I'm not practicing football, I just like hanging out with friends. I like to just work out. I like to go to my cabin in the summer and just enjoy being a freshman, I guess.
Ryder tells us why he started football and who inspired him.
I wanted to start football because all my friends did it, and I thought I'd really enjoy it because I was a rough kid when I was younger, and there's a lot of hitting into football, and also my dad played it, and I look up to my dad a lot.
He tells us what his plans are for the rest of high school and what he plans on doing afterwards.
Hopefully I can go to a big college, but that's a long way away, and I'm not really focusing on that yet. But that would be my dream, is to go to a big college.
Ryder tells us what he does to get better at football.
I play lacrosse, and I used to do wrestling. I did wrestling so that I could work on my tackling form, and also lacrosse to work on my conditioning.
Ryder tells us the expectations of the team and what it's like.
Expectations is just to, always get your homework done on time, and student comes before athlete.
He tells us his plans for the rest of high school.
Yeah, I plan on playing all the way through high school. Football is my favorite sport, and I just love doing it.
This is Spencer Ingham reporting for TSEN.
That one was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for football season.
Yeah.
The Farmington varsity wrestling team has many stars who shine on their team, but one of the better and brighter players on the team is Davis Perro, a freshman who has been on the varsity team for 2 years in a row. Devin Francic was able to catch up with Davis, his close friend Winston, and coach Chad Olson.
Davis Perro is a 9th grade student at FHS who is really active among his community in sports. Davis is a fast and small individual while remaining a tough and strong person who loves wrestling and is an active member of the varsity wrestling team. Davis is a well-known member of the community because of his positive attitude and how he never wants to give up and will always keep fighting. So we wanted to ask him a couple of questions about how he feels about wrestling and what he plans to do with his wrestling career.
I enjoy the sport of wrestling because of the atmosphere and the competition. The competition is so much different than every other sport because when you're out there, it's only you, and you can only blame yourself if you lose or if you win, and you get pretty much individual success. And the atmosphere for people is, I like pretty much everyone that's in the room wrestling with me. They know about wrestling, they know about the sport. They're pretty cool and fun to hang out with. My goal in wrestling is hopefully one day NCAA champion, maybe Olympics. Olympics is kind of far, but NCAA champion, definitely possible. For 9th graders that are wrestling right now, I'd say I'm top 15, so very possible.
We like to think about the newer generations of wrestlers and their careers, and we wanted his opinion of being a coach in the future.
Do I plan to wrestle after high school? Yeah, I plan to wrestle for the rest of my life. I mean, college, main goal, and then hopefully become a coach one day. Hopefully I make kids better than I ever was.
Davis has many friends outside of wrestling who he always tries to get to join wrestling. This year alone, he was able to get 2 people to join wrestling who have never joined wrestling. So far, they have been enjoying their wrestling career. Davis Perro has many people who look up to him because of the person he is and the character he has built. Winston Obikulu is a 9th grade boy who recently joined wrestling because of the good things he has heard Davis say about the sport. For Winston's first year playing, he has had quite a good record, winning a couple of matches and losing a couple. We wanted to know how he met Davis and how he is enjoying his wrestling career so far.
So I've known Davis for about 6 years, back in 3rd grade, and we're in the same class, so yeah.
We wanted to know about how Winston felt about playing in such a tough sport and playing in such a tough environment.
Well, yeah, I've been enjoying wrestling. It's a tough sport, but I've had my good moments. I think I'm pretty okay for my first year. I'm a pretty strong wrestler. Davis, I think, is one of the best in the school, obviously. His skills, his speed, pretty good,
We wanted a little bit more information about Davis and how he does as a wrestler. So we asked one of the varsity wrestling coaches, Chad Olson, what he thinks about Davis and where he'll end up with his wrestling career. and how hard he thinks Davis tries on a day-to-day basis.
So Davis has been on the varsity as an 8th grader, now as a 9th grader. Was a state finalist as an 8th grader, which is awesome, and had a chance to win that match. So to do it as an 8th grader, that puts you up there a ways. But I've been coached for 24 years. I've had, just here in Farmington, we had Taylor Venz, who was a 2-time state champ, was an All-American at Nebraska. We have Victor Gliva, who's a state champ, who's an All-American at Augsburg. Mason Hawkins. So we've had a lot of guys that have gone on to be college, even All-Americans. As Davis is a 9th grader, if I were to guess, I'm going to say he's probably going to end up being one of the best, but I always like to keep that judgment until I see where they're at their senior year. Davis does try his hardest, not just during the season, but basically year-round. He has just started to focus on just wrestling, and when it comes to our practice room, he's probably the hardest worker, one of the hardest workers we've had, at least on this current team.
I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on how Mr. Olson said Davis was playing in state in 8th grade. He said Davis went to state in 8th grade, but he didn't say how great of a performance Davis had in state. Davis took 2nd in state, losing by only 2 points. Reporting for TSEN, I am Devin Franzik.
We'll be right back after this message from Culver's, our sponsor for the TSEN student television production. In 1984, Craig and Lee Culver, along with Craig's parents George and Ruth, opened the very first Culver's in the family's beloved hometown of Sauk City, Wisconsin, and began serving Butterburgers and frozen custard. Craveable as our signature combination is, the Culver family knew right away that although the business is centered around the food, it is really about the people. While folks can vividly recall the first time they bit into a Butterburger or tasted a scoop of rich, creamy, fresh frozen custard, it's our way of welcoming guests that truly makes Culver's delicious. Culver's has many featured items and an ever-changing menu lineup, packed with a variety of great taste. Our Butterburgers are fresh, never frozen beef, served on a lightly toasted buttered bun. It's our claim to fame. Home-style favorites, Culver's chicken sandwiches and tenders are tasty, whole white meat in every tender bite. Culver's value baskets include any entree plus fries and a drink, or upgrade to a premium side and handcrafted beverage. All your favorite hearty soups ladled with love, just like Grandma would. Classic seafood favorites, from hand-battered North Atlantic cod to butterfly jumbo shrimp, and crisp and colorful mixed green salads. With a kids meal, they can choose all of their favorites, including the original Butterburger, Butterburger with cheese single, original chicken tenders, buffalo chicken tenders, grilled cheese, or a corn dog. Culver's has snack-worthy sides including crinkle-cut fries to genuine Wisconsin cheese curds and thick, cut onion rings. And finally, a Culver's favorite, fresh frozen custard crafted in small batches all day long using family farm fresh dairy. Culver's thanks farmers for food, family, and future. Culver's, located in Lakeville and Apple Valley, and our 2023 sponsor for this student TSEN television production.
Justin Furlong is a veteran with 16 years of service and a father of 5. He had a big part in training some of the top Marines of today. Despite that, he always makes time for his family.
Justin joined the Marines fresh out of high school to follow a family tradition and to give himself an advantage in the future.
The Furlong family has a tradition of service going back multiple generations, so I just wanted to continue that service and earn money for college and learn skills to help build a future.
While in the Marines, Justin had a different way to help his teammates. Due to this unique method, he earned himself the nickname, quote, "Let me ask you a question."
My job was administrative chief. I led a team, and when people would come to me for answers, I would always say, well, let me ask you a question. Did you try to learn on your own? Did you ask somebody else? Did you ask one of your teammates? To teach them to learn to be self-sufficient and not rely on other people to give them the answer.
Justin made a major impact on the Marine Corps before he retired. Because of the way he led his teams, many of the Marines under him are now in major roles.
The biggest thing is just training people and mentoring them and building future leaders. Numerous of the Marines that worked for me are now at senior levels and leading their own teams, so built a lasting impact of building the right kind of leader and encouraging and training them to take over their own teams.
Joining the Marines is a big thing, but retiring is even bigger. But how would it feel after having served for 16 years?
It felt good because I had completed my service and it was time to take on a new career and give my kids a chance to settle down and my family a chance to put down roots somewhere.
Being in the military adds a lot to your character. After retiring, being a vet has a big impact on who you are.
It's the fabric of a lot of who I am and what I do, and I continue to kind of support that community at work and in veterans groups and helping to continue to serve those that came before me and set the path for those who come after me.
Justin was a good Marine and leader, but to Delaney, he is also a good father.
His loving and caring ways, also the way that he goes out of his way to make sure everyone is comfortable and ready before making sure that he is himself.
Justin has done a lot of memorable things for his family, but Delaney's 5th birthday was the most memorable for her.
On my 5th birthday, when my dad took me to SeaWorld, Rainforest Cafe, and the Build-A-Bear at the Mall of America to make sure that I got the best birthday I could. He even went out of his way to make sure they gave me a birthday treat at the restaurant.
Keegan Tucker is a great basketball player for the Bucketmakers, which is an intramural basketball team. Cole Haggerty got the chance to talk with Keegan, his teammate Danny Sather, and the owner of the Bucketmakers, Scott Thill.
Keegan Tucker is a high school freshman here at Farmington High School. He has many high standards that he sets for him and his teammates. Keegan Tucker has many roles on the team, and here's one of them.
This year, for the Bucketmakers, I've really played every position, 1 through 3. I've played small forward, shooting guard, and point guard. But recently, my primary position has been point guard, and for that position, I'm meant to score and facilitate. I dribble the ball up the floor, I run the offense, and I try and set my teammates up or set myself up when the opportunity is right.
Keegan plays for the Bucketmakers, and here's what it's like playing for him.
It's been a lot of fun. It's fun to play basketball with your friends in a not super serious environment. Like, we get to have fun. We still want to win, of course, but you know, there's not a lot of pressure on you to like be perfect. It's a fun environment. Play with your friends, mess around, have some fun. It's been a really good experience so far.
Now here's Keegan talking about what his favorite part of intramural basketball is.
I gotta say the competitiveness. I mean, everyone there is trying to win. I mean, there's arguments, there's disputes, but it's really just fun. Everyone's trying their hardest. Everyone's there to win, and it's a really fun, competitive environment. Everyone's giving it their all, and no one wants to lose.
Through the season, the players have had so much fun playing basketball. Keegan stated what has been the most fun part about this year.
It's just being able to play basketball with my friends and playing against some of my friends. Like, it's just been really fun to be able to see them outside of school and have a little after-school activity once a week. It's a really fun, competitive environment. It's super enjoyable. I get to see my friends more than I typically would, so yeah, it's great.
Danny Sather is a center for the Bucketmakers. He has great respect for Keegan and how he plays on the court.
Keegan is a good player. He really motivates the team. He has good spirits all the time, even when we're losing, you know, keeps the team up and keeps it running.
Now over to Scott Thill, who is the creator and the owner of the Bucketmakers.
I play power forward, sometimes a little bit of small forward, depending on the need for the team and who's out on the bench.
Now Scott talks about what intramural basketball has been like for him.
Intramural's been fun. It's nice to create my own team and play with a bunch of my friends who I actually get to choose to be on a team with. It's a little crazy at times with, you know, no refs being there and only being ran by one person, but it's been a lot of fun so far.
Finally, here's Scott talking about what Keegan brings to the team.
Keegan's just a good player. He's very well at shooting. He's a very capable player at any position you need him to play. He can play point guard, he can play shooting guard, he can even play center if you need him to.
Reporting for TSEN, this is Cole Haggerty.
That's a great opportunity that we have intramural basketball for kids who maybe don't want to commit so much time to playing on the varsity team.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I see a lot of the kids in the intramural basketball leagues posting it on Instagram and stuff too, so they clearly are very passionate about it.
Yeah.
During the time of the pandemic, many businesses were forced to shift to remote work. Arrogate KC had the chance to speak to Arjun Casey, who is one of the many workers impacted by the sudden change to remote work.
As COVID-19 rapidly spread across the United States, work environments were forced to make a quick pivot to remote work. Arjun Casey, a senior network architect at Jack Links, was one of many individuals directly impacted by this sudden change.
After the COVID, when my company started working from home, I was a little bit surprised at the beginning, and at the same time I was also a little bit confused because I had never worked from home before, but I was ready to take the challenge.
The challenge immediately felt harder than Arjun thought it would be. The transition to remote work brought its own set of unique obstacles, and navigating them required a new set of skills and strategies.
It has been difficult for me to have a healthy work-life balance. Without the physical separation between work and personal life, it's easy to blur the lines and work longer hours.
As Arjun faced the challenges of working from home, he slowly started to find solutions and adapt to the dramatic change.
I started to schedule out my day so I knew exactly what times I needed work and what times I had to myself. This really helped develop a good balance from my work life and personal life.
Arjun started to overcome the challenges of no longer being in an office setting and found out that working from home was actually quite comfortable. Along with that, he also had more time to spend on his favorite hobbies.
One of the benefits I found while working from home was that sometimes I could work from the comfort of my sofa. Also, during my breaks, I got to spend time playing the flute and guitar, which I enjoyed a lot.
Even now that the pandemic has essentially came to an end, Arjun continues to work remotely as he feels like the flexibility allows him to excel even more at his job.
I'm optimistic about the future of remote work for our company, and I have enjoyed the experience of working from home even as the pandemic fades away. The flexibility that remote work provides has been a positive change. I believe that continuing to work from home will be beneficial not only for me but for the company as a whole, because it allows us to be more productive and collaborative.
This has been our story on Arjun KC working from home during the COVID pandemic, and reporting for TSEN, I am Arrogate KC.
Isaac Albright has had a huge impact on his basketball team's games and season. This week, Braden Kemet interviewed him and his teammate to see how he is as a person and what he does on the court.
This is Isaac Albright. You may see him on the basketball court, volleyball court, but this winter he has been concentrating on basketball and he is working hard.
And the work ethic I have is work on my self-improvement and work with my teammates too. I have to practice for 2 hours at least every day. And then another thing is I want to beat a person that's better than me in the long run.
At first, he didn't really have an interest in basketball until his friend said, "Hey, give it a try, you might like it." And he definitely did.
I just wanted to try out because people asked me to try out, and then I made the team my first year.
Once again, he didn't have that much interest in volleyball, but he had his reasons and ended up actually really liking it.
I joined mostly to get my vertical up, but then I realized that I really liked the sport.
Isaac is in a lot of classes and activities, so he talks about what keeps him motivated and what he does in the classroom to keep his grades up.
I would say basketball, because there's a lot of motives there. I get my stuff done in class.
I had the chance to bring in one of Isaac's teammates and good friend, Amir Ballard, and ask him how Isaac is as a player on the court and what he does to contribute to the team as a player.
As a teammate, Isaac's a very good teammate overall. He's very quick. He's very good at, hustling back down the court after a rebound, He also is really good at getting rebounds, even offense and defense rebounds. Very good scorer. And overall, he can do a good amount of things on the court. And he is a very good player.
Amir also talks about how Isaac is not as a player, but as a teammate and as a friend, and what his relationship is like with the team.
Isaac is a very good friend. He always is, checking in on you, making sure you're good. Always wanting to, hang out, even outside of school. So yeah, he's a really good friend.
This is Braden Kemet reporting for TSEN.
Mitch Grangs has been a huge impact for Farmington lacrosse and many players' lives. He has been the head coach at Farmington lacrosse, and together they have won many rewards. Ryder Anderson and Tony Minks had the chance to talk to Mitch Grangs and some of his players about his lacrosse experience.
Mitch Grangs is the Farmington High School head lacrosse coach. He is the founder of Titan Lacrosse. Mitch Grangs has been featured in podcasts such as Down the Alley. Mitch is also a former D1 lacrosse player for Detroit Mercy. He played there for 1 year and then transferred to the U of M. He also won Coach of the Year in 2022 with Farmington. When we asked Mitch how it felt to win Coach of the Year, this is how he responded.
Yeah, so for winning Coach of the Year, it's cool to get that honor for myself, but I actually think it speaks more about just what the whole community put in behind it. If you look at our history, if you pull it up on Minnesota Lax Hub, we've always struggled to get wins, struggled to get respect in the state. So winning that award, I'd say, is actually much more of a compliment of what people put in the past. We got the boosters putting in just a tremendous amount of volunteer hours, the players putting in that work and just trusting the process. So I would say it was more of a compliment just on all of our behalves.
Mitch impacts a lot of his players. He comes to practice with a great mood every day. He focuses on having more of a fun technical practice to help players improve instead of having his players condition. We asked one of Mitch's players, who is also the starting varsity goalie, about Mitch's practice attitude, and this is what he had to say.
He's very spiritual. He likes to be hands-on as well. He always shows up to practice and games with great attitude, enthusiasm. He's such a great guy to be around, and personally I couldn't ask for a much better coach.
Mitch Grangs is a great coach because of his coaching philosophies and his love to his players. He focuses on having one big family of love rather than a team. He understands player stories because he was once a high school student too.
So a big thing with my coaching philosophy is, kind of like a whole thought process of loving them first. So loving the kids first, loving the sport first, just kind of bringing love into the atmosphere. I think just coaching young men, noticing there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that they don't really want to talk about. So first thing, is making every person around us aware of mental health. How can we love our players and love each other as teammates? And so the way I instill that is, obviously showing that love to the guys, and then hopefully they can show that love to each other. I think, just showing hey, I was a lacrosse player as well, I was an athlete, just showing you can still show that love and affection and still be considered manly is huge in the way I approach coaching. So.
We asked one of Mitch's players, Ryder Anderson, how Mitch has impacted the program since he's been at Farmington and what successful things the coach has done for the team, and this is how he responded.
Impacted it so much. He won section champion. He's just done so much to improve Farmington lacrosse, and it's crazy, and we all thank him so much for it.
Mitch has had many accomplishments throughout his career as a coach, but he has also had many accomplishments in his high school and college career. He was good enough to play Division I lacrosse, so he took the opportunity to play at 2 Division I schools. Detroit Mercy and University of Minnesota was where he chose to play the majority of his college career.
So signing Division I, is a huge honor. I still remember back to when, I made the verbal commitment, did the signing and the whole process. I think I believe I was 15 at the time, so I started visiting schools when I was a sophomore in high school. That kind of led through the summer. I know the rules are a lot different now, but it was great. It felt good to go Division I, tell people I could go Division I, but once I actually ended up in that situation, I think I realized choosing a school, especially when it's based on sports, you have to have a different mentality. For me, I just went into it, was like, okay, how can I just go to the highest level? That's all I care about. I don't care about the school atmosphere or anything like that. Didn't really think that through. It's just being a young person, you don't think those things through. So going through those growing pains of figuring out that, it's Division I, there's a lot of hype behind it, but is there really when you get there? You're the one that's there every day. And on paper you could say you went there and everything and it sounds awesome, but there was a lot of better options for me, and I should have ventured into those more, and that's what kind of led me to ending up at the University of Minnesota.
Before Mitch committed to a college, he attended FHS, and he talked about how it was difficult leaving here and what the transition was like into the real world.
So one thing that Farmington did a great job was making me feel welcomed and making all the students, I think, feel welcome. I think they do a good job of showing love and support. Actually, it was difficult to go through that transition phase, leaving here and going out in the real world, because you don't have that similar support, especially not to this magnitude, where you got several teachers looking out for you on a daily basis. It kind of vanishes, which is sad, but it's something, you got to adapt to, and something that I just, cherish. I saw the importance of relationships and, showing that love to other people, because it can vanish quick. And I noticed that, especially after leaving here. So it did great academically. I came into college, I was prepared, had to do everything I had to do. But yeah, just that community piece, that was a big thing I always remember back when I went here.
Reporting for TSEN, this is Tony Minks.
And Ryder Anderson.
That was very interesting to hear about Mitch Grangs. His mom was my principal in elementary school, and his dad was my history teacher in 6th grade, so it's pretty cool to hear about him too now, working at Farmington.
Oh wow, that's really cool. There are a few exchange students that come to Farmington High School every year to learn and to see what the United States has to offer. Winston Obikwulu was able to catch up with Flo Janssen, a sophomore here at FHS, to ask her what her life is like here in Farmington High School.
Every year, a few students from around the world come to Farmington High School to learn and to experience a different way of school. One of them, Flo Janssen from the Netherlands, explains why she did just that.
I really wanted to learn stuff about culture. I think culture is something very important to me because I used to travel a lot when I was younger, and I saw a lot of cultures. And I obviously wanted to learn how to speak English fluently, so that was a big factor too. And I also kind of needed a break from my high school at home, and this is such a great experience, and it was a chance I could take, so I did it.
She also talks about the biggest difference between school here and from the Netherlands.
Here, and the biggest difference between here and back home is the level of high school. I definitely think it's a lot easier for me to take classes than back home.
Flo is very involved in the community and does many things in the school. We asked her what her favorite class was, and this is what she said.
That's a hard one because I really like choir, but I do think it's video production. I am taking Tiger News now in trimester 2. And I'm anchoring, which is so much fun. I really enjoy anchoring with Autumn and Will, and it's so much fun. And we are working on a PNF, which is very interesting. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun to sit down and edit. And I've never really taken a class like this before, so it's really interesting how everything works, and the studio inside is so cool. Like everything, all this stuff, it's awesome.
There are also many out-of-school activities she enjoys doing other than helping the school and being a student.
I really enjoy spending time with my host family and my friends, and love going thrifting at Goodwill and stuff. I also play guitar outside of school, which I really enjoy. I also watch a lot of movies, which is kind of a thing I always do. So yeah, that's what I mostly do outside of school.
Considering all the classes she has, she must have many teachers. So we asked her which teacher is she closest to.
Definitely Mr. Tauchi. He's always been super supportive of what I'm doing here. And in video 1, he helped me a lot, and he convinced me to take Tiger News. And then I became anchor, which was great, and I always just go here when I have nothing to do, which is fun.
We decided to interview Mr. Tauchi to see what he thinks about Flo as a student and as a person.
Flo has been an amazing student as far as she is on our Tiger News team. She anchors and works behind the scenes. It's been such a pleasure to work with her because she cares so much about her work. She cares about people, and just everything that she works on is just like gold. It comes to life, and it's such a pleasure to just work with her on so many different things throughout the trimester.
Signing out for TSCN, I am Winston Obikulu.
You know, it's pretty cool that a foreign exchange student had the opportunity to be on Tiger News.
Yeah, I love watching her every Thursday.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the chance to do varsity cheerleading, and she was one of the 3 who've been on it since freshman year. Kira Tackett has been with the other seniors since her freshman year, starting out her high school career. Josie Tackett was able to talk to Kira Tackett, her friends, and coaches about her 4 years of varsity cheer and how she will continue in college.
Kira Tackett is a cheerleader and she's been actively on the team for 4 years.
Hi, I'm Kira Tackett. I'm a senior at Farmington High School. I am also on our winter and fall sideline cheer team. I do many positions as we stunt, but mostly I am a back spot.
Kira tells us why she got into cheer, where she wants to go for college cheer, and how it looks like getting ready as a cheerleader for a basketball and football game.
In 8th grade, I saw an advertisement at the middle school saying that they're having auditions, and I didn't try out my first fall season because I was actually in a play at the time, and I joined in the winter season after hearing how much fun it was going to be, and I recently quit dance at the time, so I was like, this is pretty similar, so I thought it would be a good change of scenery.
Kira couldn't try out for fall season because at the time she was in a play. Kira decided over the last Friday that she was going to go to Winona State University so she could continue her education in business and accounting and continue her cheer sideline career.
In cheer, so as I finish this season, I'm actually looking to participate in cheer at college. I haven't decided what college yet, but I am open to the opportunity for myself. So before a game, so I hang out with a few of my friends. We all get ready at someone's house. We just hang around, chill out, get ready, frantically leave the house. We're running late a lot of the time, but we make it and we get here.
Audrey is a cheerleader for FHS. She's been on the team for 2 years with Kira, and they've been best friends ever since. This is what Audrey said about Kira.
Hi, I'm Audrey McLeese. I'm a sophomore and I'm on the fall and winter cheerleading team, and I'm primarily a flyer. I'd say a lot of my older sister's friends were on the cheer team, and also I always had really good memories of in elementary school, like autograph day, going around and getting all the cheerleader signatures, and that's something I've always wanted to do. She gives everybody a lot of rides, very helpful. Everybody's really appreciative, and she's kind of like our mom. We love her.
Ellie Weiland is also a cheerleader for FHS. Her friendship with Kira has shown through the years during cheer.
I'm Ellie Weiland. I'm a junior and I'm on the fall and winter sideline cheer team. Kind of like one of my best friends, I say. I got really close with her, and I guess just a new friendship. She kind of brings the energy up, I feel. She's a really sweet person, and I feel like she just makes the whole team a lot happier and all.
This is Amanda Redding. She's been with Kira for 4 years of her high school career, but she's been coaching for a really long time for the Farmington cheer team. This is what she has to say about Kira.
I'm Amanda Redding. I coach Farmington Sideline Cheer, and I teach 5th grade at North Trail Elementary. Kira is a great kid to have around. She's super fun. She wants to be a part of everything. I think stunting is definitely her favorite aspect of cheering, and she's a really good leader and a great back spot when it comes to cheering. Kira helped by bringing a good experience. Even though she had never cheered before, she had a dance background, so that was really nice because she was able to pick up on things really easily.
From what I learned by taking a few hours out of my day, the team loves Kira and they all seem happy and sad that she's graduating. But I think that when she goes off to college, she'll keep having the same energy, new friendships, and she will bring her cheer team up, and the team she left will miss her, but will be the same with the impact she's made on her fellow cheerleaders and coaches. This is Josie Tackett reporting for TSCN.
Mr. Smith is a Farmington High School baseball coach and civics teacher. He has a great effect on his students and players with his positive attitude. Keegan Tucker was able to talk with Mr. Smith and a couple of his students to get a deeper dive on what it takes to be a great coach and teacher.
Not every teacher can say they've won a state championship. I talked to Mr. Smith, a Farmington High School baseball coach and civics teacher. I talked to him about what it takes to create successful baseball players and create successful civics students.
We always tell our baseball players that one of our goals is for them not only to be successful on the field, but we want them to be successful in life. We want to help them to become better husbands, better fathers, better individuals down the road. And it's the same in class. Teaching civics, one of the things I want students to do is to be effective, well-versed, educated citizens. That when you step out of high school, that you are a fully functioning member of our democratic society, that we're looking for the long run. I'm not just looking for the immediate, that if I only focus on, did this student get an A? Or did we win this game? I'm losing track of who are they going to be in 5-10 years. And that is one of the big focuses we have, that, hey, this is how we're going to handle things in class. We're going to develop grit, perseverance. We're going to learn teamwork. We're going to learn sportsmanship. We're going to learn perseverance. These are the core beliefs of the baseball team. And we're going to be able to transfer those to make you a better individual in the long run, not just in the short term.
Nick has almost been through 9 years of schooling, but there's one thing that makes Mr. Smith's classroom a little different from anything he's witnessed in these 9 years.
He really teaches us how to talk with people that we don't know or that we're not comfortable talking with usually. And I think that really helps when he has a small room. So he has a really small room, and that pushes us all together and makes us talk to each other because there's not much open space where people can get away from other people in his classroom. And so it's really easy for him to like have people to talk to each other and work together and collaborate on homework.
Mr. Smith is very loved by all of his students. Sander, a student of Mr. Smith, commented on why he likes Mr. Smith so much.
Smith is a good teacher because he talks to us more like we're more than students. His class is fun and engaging, and it's way easier to learn in his class compared to other teachers.
Mr. Smith has taught and coached for many years, accomplishing and learning a lot of different things on the way. To him, being a good coach and a good teacher are almost interchangeable.
In my opinion, they're very similar. That in order to be an effective coach, you need to be able to communicate an idea. It's the same within class if we're talking about the legislative branch. There's lots of ideas that you have to be able to communicate. If we're working on writing, we're working on an essay, there's ideas we need to communicate, and it's the process that needs to be taught in order to accomplish the goal. If I'm asking a kid how to field a bare hand, coming up the third baseline, first we go through the idea, like, what is this supposed to look like? What's the technique that we're going to use? And then we go to practice it.
To Mr. Smith, one of the most important things is to have a positive attitude. He teaches his students and coaches his players to always have a positive attitude. He commented on how he makes sure to maintain that positive attitude on the baseball field and in his classroom.
Grit and perseverance. Baseball is designed to make you fail. We often tell our players, we're not competing against the other team, we're competing against the game. That the game was set up so you only have a certain number of strikes. That in order to be successful in the game, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times and you're an all-star. The game was designed to make you fail, so when you get into the batter's box, when you step onto the mound, when things go wrong or don't go the way that you want it to, how can we pause and mentally check ourselves in a way that puts us in a mindset that we can be positive, that we're not thinking about the negative.
This is Keegan Tucker reporting for TSCN.
Millions of young teenagers across the United States are high school athletes, but very few become athletes at the next level. Ashton Som was able to speak to Toby Somsaksky, along with those close to him, about his journey to become a dual sport college athlete.
Hamline University is a private university here in Minnesota, and they have many different athletes in the 20 different sports they offer. One of those athletes is Toby Somsaksky, who graduated from Bloomington Kennedy High School in Bloomington, Minnesota. Toby explained how he became an athlete.
I got into football my 7th grade summer, and then that following spring I joined track because I heard that it would help me get faster for football, so I was like, I might as well try it. I was already pretty quick, but I wanted to get faster, so I decided to join that, and then I stuck with it throughout, until 8th grade, and then I continued it in high school.
Toby graduated high school in 2022 and was active in football and track and field. He spoke about what it was like being a dual sport athlete during that time of his life.
It was pretty cool. It gave me something to do all year, kept me busy. But in terms of busy, it wasn't like something like I hated doing. Because I like sports, so it was fun. And then it was pretty cool because people knew me as like, oh, he plays football and he's in track, so it was pretty cool. Like the reputation I had, especially like during senior year. I used to be really quiet, but My senior year, I kind of opened up and I became more of a leader.
Elijah Baidu met Toby in middle school at the long jump sand pits of a middle school track meet, and the two have been friends ever since. Throughout the years, Elijah has seen Toby grow substantially.
Yeah, he's matured a lot over the years, or we all matured a lot over the years. As well as an athlete, I feel like Toby has so much potential, and I felt like before COVID, I feel like he kind of doubted himself a lot, and I would always be there for him to, motivate him and say, yeah, you got this, yeah, you are fast, you are speed, you are strength, you know what I mean? And it was just up to him to believe that. And I feel like during COVID, he had some time to reflect on himself. And up until post-COVID, I feel like he now believes in himself. And as a result, he's been doing amazing athletically, setting PRs and doing amazing.
During his senior year of high school, Toby committed to Hamlin and is currently a freshman there. And he has seen some differences between being a student athlete at both schools.
Academically, the transition is kind of easier, but at the same time, it's harder. I think it's easier because you can choose your own schedule, and you're doing what you want to do, even though there is still generals and everything. But it's also harder because I think the deadlines are more strict here, and it's easier to procrastinate. I feel like, especially being an athlete, athletically, it's actually pretty hard because if you think about it, usually college athletes are they're supposed to be some of the best on the team in high school, and then those they all come together. So really when you come here, you just become normal again. Especially being a freshman again. You're a freshman again, so it's you're not a senior anymore, you gotta work your way up again. But for track, it's pretty smooth. The thing I like the most though is learning all these new things, having better coaches in track. The track coaches know a lot about sprinting technique and jumping technique compared to my high school coaches.
Tasha Somsaxi is one of Toby's several younger siblings and is the one he's lived with since childhood. Throughout all the years, Tasha has seen her older brother grow not only as an athlete, but as a good person as well. When talking about his work ethic, this is what she had to say.
He puts in an effort by going to the gym and showing up at practice. During the summer, he'd constantly go to the gym, and it would be late at night too, but I never saw him get tired of it. He wanted to go to the gym. And then every time he's at practice, I know that he's the type of person that wants to get better and improve, and any mistakes he makes, he just wants to be better, and he's not the type of person to give up.
Just as Tasha stated, Toby works on his game a lot in order to become a better athlete, just as any athlete should. However, Toby made a valuable realization within the past few months.
I practice every day, basically every weekday. Besides the weekends, just because weekends are competitions, meet days. Same thing for football, weekends are games. But I always like doing extra work, practicing. I like doing extra work, but the thing that I learned here, especially now that I came to college, is recovery is super important. So all that overworking I used to do, which I didn't think it was overworking at the time in high school, is actually not as good for me as I thought, because you need time to recover. So practice is really important, but recovery is just as important.
There were several reasons as to why Elijah committed to Hamlin, but one of them is Toby, due to the fact that he has helped Elijah grow as a student and athlete.
Yeah, he has had an impact. We both had the same goals of becoming good student athletes and making it into college and continuing our athletic career there too. So we basically motivate each other when it comes to academics and as well as athletics, whether that be studying together or going to the gym together and working out.
The pair had each other's backs when it came to their transitions from Kennedy to Hamlin and are roommates at the school. Elijah spoke more about this process.
The transition, was good. We both had to meet new people as well as get used to training and coaches and all that, as well as create good habits and making a good cycle.
Like many other people around the world, Toby is motivated by things very sentimental to him.
I say my family motivates me the most, family and friends. But I say family because I just want to like do something for my family. I'm first generation. Besides my mom, she went to college, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a 4-year, I believe. And then my dad. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if he graduated high school. I don't remember, but yeah, he came from Laos like when he was a teen. So, he came here for a reason, and I just want to do something and represent Lao people, of course. There's actually a demographic. Lao people have like the least amount of like college degrees out of all the Asian countries. So, I want to change something.
The thought of his family pushes Toby to strive for a successful future.
When I graduate, I hope to have a good enough job to be able to help my family, like take care of my younger siblings. Because by that time, yeah, they're gonna be a lot older. So I want to be able to like buy things for them. Because I've been broke the last couple of years, like because of school. And then right now I'm not even working, so it's like I can't like buy them like Christmas presents or anything. So hopefully I can by then.
Toby has experienced a lot within these past few years, and this is what he would suggest to those soon to take the same route to college like his.
Pick a college where you feel like you fit best and will benefit you in the long run. Don't pick somewhere just because of the big name. You gotta pick somewhere where it's gonna help you get to your goals, and don't follow your friends unless it actually benefits you. Because I know a lot of people that actually like choose their colleges based on their friends, but like really like when they go there, it's not even like, they don't even have like the majors they want to do or anything. And start looking at colleges like pretty early, like junior year, getting to know like what each place is like, and then figuring out if you want to stay in state or out of state.
Also, just like many other people around the world, Toby has his interest. One specific interest of his is his 2012 Honda Civic Si and cars in general, which he enjoys very much. With Toby inching towards finishing his first year of college, he will continue to grow as an athlete and help more of those around him in a positive way. Reporting for TSEN, I'm Ashton Tom.
I have a hard enough time as a single sport athlete in high school. I couldn't imagine what it's like being a dual sport athlete in college.
Yeah, that's definitely a big commitment. So that's going to be a wrap for our show. Thanks for tuning in to our 2023 TSEN show, and see you next year.
Bye.